a moment out just to be grateful. Listen, I don't know about you, but that does something for me every time. So I know you all are probably used to waking up and counting your blessings and saying your morning prayers, but you cannot be grateful enough. I was thinking the other day about how I did the study on learning how to control our emotions, and gratefulness is an emotion, and it's one of the least used emotion. Like, people would use every other emotion besides gratefulness. That is just the last emotion. We don't like to be grateful towards one another. We don't like to be grateful towards our higher power, whatever you choose to call your higher power. We just don't show enough gratefulness, and I think that gratefulness should exceed any other emotion by far, because there is always, always, always something to be grateful for. We put a whole lot of our time and energy into things that don't matter, and gratefulness is something that does matter. When we can focus on learning how to be grateful more on a regular basis, it will help us out so much. So that's what we're going to do. That is what we are going to do. We are going to learn how to be more grateful. I'm on some same energy. If we can pout and shout and talk about who shot John and this person did this and that person did that, and point the finger and all that kind of stuff, and talk about the young and the restless and gossiping and all of the things that we like to focus on, and how we don't have enough money, and this person did this and that person did that. We could take a few moments to focus on things like being grateful. It literally lifts up your mood. It raises your vibration. You can literally feel yourself lifting like you are floating on a bubble when you are sitting there learning how to be grateful, and just letting your whole entire body be consumed with the power and the feeling of gratefulness. It's an amazing feeling. Like, you could just stay there for a while. So you see how I'm like, staying here for a while. And I'm always like that. Even when I do my in-person motivational speaking, when I talk to people, I always express the importance of gratitude, because it is very, very, very important that we learn how to be grateful on the regular basis. We are not creators of ourselves. We have to reverence infinite intelligence, our higher power, our God, the creator of all earth and universe, the only spirit that is holy. There is only one spirit that is holy, and he is responsible for your existence here on this earth. So we cannot neglect to reverence the Holy Spirit. So let's get right on into it. Today's topic is the power of consistency. So God just dropped this right in my heart. I just got like a whole entire revelation, just even thinking about myself and my lack of consistency, or my or my actual consistency, and I'm like, this seems like a very relevant message, that I need to talk about consistency. And I know it is relatable. I know it is something that we all can relate to, even with New Year's resolutions. I did not forget about y'all. Next month, I will be starting my Happy New You challenge in light of the new year being 6 months away. June being the 6th month of the year, we want to start tackling some goals and some things in our life that is going to bring us closer to where we actually want to be by the time the ball drops. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year's 2024 will be here before we know. And I want to start this challenge, and it is open for anyone and everyone to join my Happy New You challenge. I did it last year. It was very effective. I accomplished so much. I'm very grateful for my progress and how far God has allowed me to make it, even through me utilizing my Happy New You challenge. I want to share it with you all. I hope you all join in my Happy New You challenge. But the power of consistency is important, even with things such as New Year's resolutions, and anything. It don't even have to be New Year's. I mean, we just need to learn how to be consistent with our lives, period. And it's so easy to fall off track and to not be consistent. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into this message. Today's topic, we are going to talk about the power of consistency. So the power of consistency teaches us how to create a personal prosperity plan and how to get deeply and emotionally committed to the plan, and how to take action into implementing the plan. So basically, that is what the power of consistency is. It basically teaches us how to create a personal prosperity plan. So I'm always, you ain't got to say nothing else to me. You talking about prosperity and just learning how to elevate and prosper and go higher and grow and do more, and all of those kind of things, the things that we aspire to do in our life, not just talk about it or think about it or dream about it. Or there are ideas and emotions and passions and desires that's floating around in our heads and in our hearts that some of us are afraid to even talk about, because we scared that somebody gonna shoot it down, like they not gonna like my idea, or it might sound silly, or whatever. That is how every silly sounding invention, innovation, idea, creation, even now to this very day, that is how it all started from the beginning of time. And those things were so valuable and still is very valuable in the operation of the world, and how we move around and everything every single day. Computers and phones and cars and stoplights and hairbrushes and irons and all that kind of stuff. It all started from a simple idea, where someone was just not afraid to step out on faith. It takes a lot of courage to show yourself to the world. Trust me, I know. And to fight past all the discouraging talk and the naysayers and the haters and all of that kind of stuff, you just have to just step out there and do it anyway, regardless to anything else or anyone else. It takes plenty of courage. That is what successful and wealthy people have in common. They are not afraid to step out and be courageous and show themselves to the world. So and two other words that stood out to me too when I did this research on the power of consistency, when it said our prosperity plan and how to get deeply and emotionally committed to the plan. So deeply and emotionally are two major key factors when you want to be consistent with doing something. It's not just a surface thing. You have to feel that thing down on the inside, deeply and emotionally. And there's nothing wrong with feeling things deeply and emotionally and showing that you have some kind of passion in your heart for the thing that you are doing. That is what makes most people successful, when they are doing things with deep emotion and pure intention, and just doing things from their heart. So doing it deeply and emotionally, and being committed to the plan and how to take action into implementing the plan. So that is basically the power of of consistency. I basically just wrote down this meaning of the power of consistency stood out to me the most. So I just basically broke down the meaning of the power of consistency, so we can all be on the same page here. Okay, so that was just really for my own justification as well. So why is consistency so important? The more consistently you do something, the easier it becomes. So, I mean, and I can personally, I can attest to that. Like, even with me getting up, so let me use this for example. I have reserved Tuesdays and Wednesdays to give of myself, to share these messages virtually. And also I go out into my community and I speak to the people in my community. I am in homeless shelters quite often, and I'm telling my testimony and sharing these life lessons as well. And when I first started, it wasn't so easy. I had to adjust myself from doing whatever my routine was prior to that. I had to adjust my life to doing what I'm doing right now, period. Like, all together. And when you are doing something new, it is never easy. And I did start off a little earlier in the morning. Like, I tried to jump on between 8:30 and 9 o'clock, which really was not working well for me because I was like running off of freaking fumes at that point. So that I just discovered that coming on at 10:30, 11ish was doable for me. So, but I still learned how to be consistent. I'm still doing it. I don't know how many messages this will actually make with me going live, but I have been doing it for quite a few months now. And the more I do it, the easier it actually gets. I am up preparing these messages at night, and it is easier now to prepare the messages than it was when I first began. I get extreme joy out of learning and educating myself and putting together these things to share with you guys, but it's not always easy. I have kids to take care of. I have a job to maintain. I have a household to maintain. I try to make sure I take good care of myself and my health and all of that stuff. And I find time and room within my busy schedule to share of myself and to learn how to be motivational. And I don't want anything to get in the way of that. I think it is completely worth it. I don't have any kind of hidden agendas or anything like that. I just, my sole purpose is to give what God has given to me and to share a message of hope and let people know that you can come from a broken place and have a bright future. I am in a very blessed place in my life right now, and I am so grateful to be where I am today. And I chose not to keep this all to myself. So, you're welcome. I'm just joking. But, I do believe that this is where God wants me to be out of everything that I ventured out into doing, all of my entrepreneurship. I do have a passion for everything that I do. I love the cleaning industry. I love everything about the cleaning industry because we are most important. We prioritize, doctors and all of that kind of stuff, but you can't operate in a nasty facility. That depreciates the value of the entire facility. So I hold people in the cleaning industry at a high standard. At one point in time, I ran my own cleaning industry, and a lot of people still reach out to me to this day regarding that. They want me to get back into that field, but now I have a passion for this. I love cooking. That ain't going nowhere. Like, I would feed people for free forever, if I could, and I just told God, I envision myself feeding a whole lot of people, and you don't even have to pay me for it. I just get complete joy out of feeding people. But I had to learn how to be consistent with doing that when I first started feeding people. Coming out of my drug addiction, being more productive with myself, I began to prepare home cooked meals for my children and my then husband at the time more often. So every Sunday we would get up and go to church, and even some of my other family members would meet up at my house, and I would fix these great big elaborate Sunday meals and holiday meals, and I was very consistent about doing that over the years, and people begin to pay me for it. My oldest son was like, "Mom, you got to stop feeding everybody for free and you got to start selling your food." And I was like, "No." And I just really didn't want to sell my food because I just really got complete joy out of feeding people. But then when I opened my cleaning business, I used someone had encouraged me to use my cooking skills as a fundraiser to financially support my cleaning business, and that's what I did. So but it all took consistency, and the more I cooked, the better I got at it. The more I cleaned to step into the cleaning industry and did entrepreneurial things, the better I got at it. The more I prepare motivational messages and study life, the better I get at it. And when I tell you, when I study life and preparing these messages, I get so much out of it because it doesn't just stop with me relaying these messages over to you. I practice these things more and more all the time. I don't think I know everything. I implement these messages into my life every single day. I learn about what I'm doing wrong by doing these actual studies, and I incorporate these things in my life every single day. So I don't know who these messages might be helping out there or who they might not be helping. I don't know. But they sure do a lot for me. It's just more than me just choosing topics. And, I really believe that God ministers to my spirit when he gives me these topics. And I dig into these studies and all of these kind of things and relay these messages over to you guys. But it was never easy. It got easier. Even with me preparing this message last night on consistency, I have like a stack of messages like this, and it wasn't hard for me to prepare this message because the more I do it, the easier it has gotten, and I get great gratification out of it. It is like the language of love. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but we all should be incorporated in the language of love, doing something that we absolutely love to do. So that was just the introduction. Let me go ahead and get into this message of the power of consistency. Why is consistency so important? The more consistently you do something, the easier it becomes. I think I said that already, and that was the point of me actually breaking down everything that I just broke down to you guys. It does become easier, and that is just with everything. Sometimes we don't even want to start getting used to creating these good habits for ourselves because we have already created these roadblocks in our minds of how difficult it's going to be to even begin to start doing it in the first place. So we never even give ourselves a chance. So we might start doing it once and then we just fall straight off the wagon. Consistency is key. So we're going to get into how important being consistent is. So eventually what becomes a struggle becomes a habit. So it starts off difficult at first, of course, and that is just with anything. That's just like a baby, 9, 10, 11 months old, and they go from crawling, they go from rolling over to crawling to walking, and they're not perfect at walking at first, but the more they do it, the more they get up, they fall, they get back up, and they keep practicing and practicing and practicing. And next thing you know, they just walking around just like me and you. We chasing after them like, where you going? What are you doing? A lot of times before they are even 1 or 2 years old, I think one of my kids even started walking at like 9 months old, maybe a few of them. And it just comes from them being consistent with and it's necessary. Like, you can't just stop trying to walk, especially if your legs are perfectly capable of walking. You just can't stop that. Everything just takes consistency. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, so I'm gonna keep moving on with my lessons. How can I improve my consistency? So number one, set reminders for yourself. Just set off an alarm or put something, in your path that is going to let you know it is time for you to do this one thing or that one thing that you know that you need to be consistent with during the day. I know one thing that helped me so much is with drinking water. I drink more water now than I have ever drank in my entire life. And I came across something, I think I was scrolling on Facebook, and it showed like this water timer. So like every 2 hours drink a 16-ounce bottle of water. So that's what I got in the habit of doing. And I know if 2 hours went past, I'm like, that's way too long without me drinking some water. Sometimes I go maybe 2.5, 3 hours, and I'm like, no. But for the most part, I am very consistent with drinking a 16-ounce bottle of water every 2 hours because I know my body needs that hydration. Everybody should. That is not just with me. Putting plenty of water in your body on a regular basis does so much for the human body, and I wasn't doing that before, but I am doing that now. So that every 2 hour thing, that helped me. I kind of like made a mental note of it, and I've been very consistent with it even over time. It's very rare that I go past that 2 hours. Like I have to be extremely busy out on a highway, knowing that I can't stop and use a restroom. Yes, I do use the restroom quite often because I drink a lot of water, but it does wonders for my body. I can tell in the way that my skin looks, the energy that I get, how I feel on the regular basis. I feel amazing. I can feel the difference between the way that I feel when I don't drink water or when I haven't drank as much water as I do now. It made a major difference in my body. So it is worth every trip to the bathroom. I'm just saying. So yeah, set reminders for yourself, every 2 hours or whatever, whatever that thing that you need to be consistent with. Put an alarm on your phone, write it down in your notes, whatever, so you can be reminded that it is time for you to do the thing that you need to do. So use motivational tools such as setting up reward system for yourself. That is what I do. I study a lot during the week, and when I study a lot, if I indulge in too much music or too much TV, I am like convicted in my spirit. I'm like, I can't, or too much social media, whatever. Anything that is not productive. And I try to get my work done so I can treat myself to maybe a love movie. I love watching love stories on Netflix, and I love listening to love music, but I'm not going to listen to, and I love listening to ratchet music, but I'm not going to listen to that music if I know I haven't gotten any work done. So, I do like 3 educational videos, and then I treat myself to some ratchet music or some love music, or so I set up a reward system for myself, and it's so much more pleasurable when I set up that reward system for myself, because I know that I have gotten a significant amount of work done before I go head out and jump and start listening to music. I know I felt my brain with something educational, or I know I sat and finished a book that I've been meaning to finish for a while, or whatever. I put healthy things into my body. I work out, I exercise. Sometimes I might go I don't do Dairy Queen and Rita's like every once in a while, but I will reward myself with maybe a water ice or a flurry or something like that when I know that I have done a great job. I allow myself to relax to relax my body. I can't just sit around and do a whole lot of nothing if I know I haven't gotten any work done. My rest comes in that when I had a lot of productivity done during the day. Like, I can't just think it's okay to not do nothing if I haven't gotten any work done. So set up a reward system for yourself. That is just personally how I do things, whatever a reward system may look like. To you, learn how to set up a reward system for yourself after you have been consistent, and it drives you, it motivates you to continue to want to be more consistent when you know that there is a reward at the end. Sometimes I treat myself. I do. I go to the mall shopping. I buy myself things that I want or need. I'll get myself some seafood, whatever, because I know that I am putting in the work. So, the rewards are going to come. But if you're doing a whole lot of playing and not enough working, then what, you're just not accomplishing very much. So 3 is learn how to be more patient with yourself. Being consistent means dedicating yourself to your goals and on the things and activities to achieve them. So patience is a virtue, being consistent. That was number 3 on how can I improve my consistency. Number 3 was learn how to be more patient. The Rome was not built overnight. We have to learn how to implement patience in our life. You're not going to just work out at the gym one time and think you go and lose 50 pounds. Or, I was in there for an hour. You got to work out for an hour every single day, and you got to be consistent. You have to be consistent. You can't go to the doctor after the doctor say, one more cookie or one more piece of fried chicken, and your health is going to be in danger probably forever if you don't get yourself together. Well, I ate a salad 2 weeks ago. Eat a salad 3 times a week. Be consistent with eating a salad. Or you don't even have to work out every day for an hour. I would love to work out every day for an hour, but I'm only at the gym maybe 4-5 times tops at the gym a week, and I spend maybe an hour. Sometimes I spend 2 hours in there, but I would love to be a 7-day-a-week gym person, but that just doesn't fit my schedule. I have way too much going on to be at the gym 7 days a week. But even with that, I see the results that are taking place over time. I may have gotten impatient in the beginning and then learned how to implement some patience in my journey, and I see the results, and I know that the more I am consistent with the things that I am doing, the better that I am going to get at doing them, and the better the results are going to be. So like I said, being consistent means dedicating yourself to your goals and on the things and activities to achieve them. Dedication is everything. We have to learn how to be more dedicated on the regular basis. Like, what are you willing to dedicate yourself to? Ask yourself that question. And a lot of times I ask myself, like, how bad do you want it? Like, how bad do you want this thing to happen for you? And that all reflects on the amount of work that you are willing to put forth and the things that you are willing to do. When on a scale from 1 to 10, like, do you want it a 5? Do you want it I don't know, or do you want it a 10? Or how important is it to you? Is it just a 2? Like, I don't know. Like, how bad do you want these things? Because that is really going to have a reflection on how consistent you are with whatever it is that you know that you need to be consistent with. So we are talking about the power of consistency this morning, a very relevant message. I am so glad that I chose this topic for today. Like, it really blessed me to even prepare this message. So I wrote a fact about being consistent. If you learn to do something consistently, you will discover much greater strengths and opportunities within yourself than you could ever imagine. So, I mean, I can personally attest to that. Even again, for instance, me being at the gym, I push myself more and more every time. I was just tackling my abs yesterday, and I was doing 1 minute planks. If anybody know, I mean, I know a lot of you guys know about what planks are. You literally hold a full body weight up on the tip of your toes and on your arms, and you just laying like a plank, like flat out. And planks are difficult. Like, it is hard to hold yourself up. Even like I started off doing 20-second planks. Yesterday I did 1 minute planks. I counted all the way to 60, and I was like, wow, that was like the first time I ever did. I did 3 sets of 1 minute planks, and I was shaking, and I was encouraging myself and hyping myself up, and I just did not let go until I hit that 1 minute mark. So I was very proud of myself. And I decided to test my own strength, like even in the spirit of moment. Like, say yesterday, for instance, I said I did go from 20-second planks to 30-second planks. So, like, even in the moment of me positioning myself into getting ready to do planks, I said, I'm going to do 60-second planks today. Like, I decided at the last minute to test my own strength and to push myself to the limit. And I didn't even question myself. I didn't say I'm going to see if I can do 60-second planks today. Excuse me if I said I questioned myself about it. I told myself, I'm going to do 60-second planks today. Like, this is just what I'm going to do. I made the sound decision in my mind to test my own strength, and that's what I did. Like, at the end of that workout, I could not believe I did three sets of 60-second planks. And I just discovered those strengths within myself. I increased my reps, period. Yesterday, I pushed myself to the limit. Was it easy? No. Was I tired? Yes. Did I complete every single task? Yes, I did. And I was very proud of myself at the end of that workout. And had I not pushed myself to the max and decided to test my own strength, I would still wonder if I can do a 60-second plank or not. Now I know. I would still wonder if I can up my reps from 15 to 30. I doubled my reps yesterday. Like, I was like, wow. But yeah, like, you just never know how strong you are. And that is the fact that I wrote down about learning how to be consistent. So I'm gonna read that again. If you learn to do something consistently, you will discover much greater strengths and opportunities within yourself. So within yourself that you could ever even imagine. Like, I didn't know that even this soon into my journey with physical fitness, that I can be this far. Like, even with me pressing over 300 pounds on my legs, that is unbelievable to me. When I first started doing the leg press, so the leg press alone weighs 118 pounds. So actually, someone at the gym just like, like, come on, just jump on here. And I was like, nah, I see people doing the leg press, but I never even thought of getting on that leg press. I'm like, that ain't for me. That's for the strong people. And come to find out, I am one of the strong people. So I was like, wow. So like I was saying, the press is already 118 pounds. So then I started adding 25 pounds on each side. So 50 pounds to that one 118, making it 168, and then doing that for a while. And I was like, I'm gonna see how close I can get to 200, hit the 200 mark. And when I hit the 300 mark on the leg press, I didn't even realize it. I thought I was almost at 300 when I was actually over 300. I put 45 pound weights on a 118 press and 225s. And I was like, and I added it up wrong for like a whole week trying to do the math in my head before I decided to pull out my calculator. And I was like, no. Like, I literally pressed over 300 pounds on my leg, and I didn't even know. I didn't even realize I was just like throwing weights on a press before I jumped on there. And I did not know how strong my legs were. Like, I didn't even realize my own strength. And that can be with us. That can be with any of us. I'm telling you this for a reason. Because you have strengths within yourself that you don't even realize that you have, because you probably already done told yourself that you can't do it, and already set up roadblocks for yourself, or I'm not doing it, and all of that kind of stuff, when in all reality, how do you even know that you can't do it if you haven't even put forth the full effort into doing it? So sometimes you don't even know your own strength until you literally push yourself to that limit to discover the strengths that you have within yourself. So I wrote down a did you know fact. So did you know that the earth is consistently rotating on its axis? And if it were to stop for any reason right at this moment, that would be devastating to life on earth as we know it. Day would turn into night, and night would turn into day. I was listening to my favorite motivational speaker last night. I like to educate myself highly even before I go to bed at night, and I love listening to Napoleon Hill. And he said, I listened to this lecture so many times, and I was listening to the lecture last night, and he said, if the laws of nature neglected to obey by their own laws, it would make hell look like a firecracker. I was like, dang. And I never listened. I mean, I heard him say that, and he was talking about the just the laws of nature and how things work, and like certain things have to happen. And it just made me think when I was preparing this message, and I'm like, if the laws of nature and the earth failed at consistency as much as we failed at consistency, we would be in some deep doo-doo. Excuse my French. He said, I'm not going to say it exactly how he said it, but it completely blew my mind. He didn't even say hell. He said the H-bomb. He said it would make the H-bomb look like a firecracker. And it took me a minute. I had to think about it. I was like, like it would make hell look like a firecracker if Mother Nature or Earth or infinite intelligence or the law of nature neglected to obey by its own laws. Like the Earth can't stop spinning. That is just what it has to do to keep us alive. So I was like, wow, and then I started looking up what would happen if the Earth wasn't consistent in its rotation. And if I told y'all what I found out when I did that research, y'all might get scared. So I'm not even going to tell you the things that might happen if nature wasn't consistent with the things that it needed to do. Like, we human beings are the most inconsistent living beings on the earth, but we had to break out of those patterns of inconsistency so we can grow and do the job that we need to do, just like everything else does. So consistency is just so important, even to us and the earth, the world, the way that the world goes around. Like we need day and night, like so we have to learn how to be more consistent. So consistency is literally a matter between life and death. Consistency is the key to making lasting changes. Consistency is one of the key elements of life in every area. Lack of consistency means lack of success. No one on this planet has ever reached high heights without having consistency. Baby steps. Commit yourself to so I wrote down a theory that might help you all in learning how to be more consistent. So I'm going to actually try to do this myself, because there are things that I would love to be more consistent with doing, and for whatever reason I just fall short constantly, and I want to stop doing that. So baby steps. Commit yourself to just 2 minutes a day to doing something to reach your goals. Try this for 30 days and see if you can make a habit of being consistent. So it said 2 minutes a day. I was gonna say nah, they can do more than 2 minutes a day. They can commit themselves to 5 minutes a day. I can commit myself to 5 minutes a day of learning how to be more consistent on the thing that I know that I want to do. So committing yourself to doing something for just 2 minutes a day, whatever it is, whether it's reading, whether it's going for a 2-minute walk, or whatever, I don't know, something that you know is going to benefit you, that you know that you want to be consistent at. Stop whatever that you are doing, and for the next 30 days, just try it. For the next 30 days, be consistent with doing that thing for just 2 minutes for the next 30 days, and see if you can make a great brand new habit of being consistent. If for any reason you fall off or find your if for any reason you fall off track, start all over again. So I know you guys are not going to want to start all over again. Say if you like 15 days, 10 days, 5 days, or even 3 days into this into this, and you say, well, I don't want to backtrack, or maybe you did it one day and then you skip the next day and then you want to start all over again. You're not going to want to keep starting all over again. So just be very consistent, so you won't have to keep trying doing it all over again. So I am going to start this 30-day challenge. Actually, I'm going to start today. I don't know about you guys. Listen, why wait? I know it's things that I want to do to learn how to be more consistent on the regular basis, and why waste another moment when I know I need to learn how to be more consistent. So what's today? I don't know, the 17th, May 17th or something like that. For the next 30 days, I guess in June 17th, we're going to be into our Happy New Year challenge by then. But what better way to start the Happy New Year challenge than to learn to challenge yourself on learning how to be more consistent. So try this. Find yourself an accountability partner, so you both can hold one another accountable to sticking to your goals. So accountability partners is always a good thing. If you have a spouse or a cousin or a sister or a brother or whoever, I'm thinking about me and my twin being accountability partners to one another. Normally when we start challenges, fasting, or we both of us are pescatarians. Both of us drink green smoothies quite often, do herbal teas, commit ourselves to working out and all of that kind of stuff. So I want to start an accountability challenge with my sister, so when I get a chance to talk to her, she doesn't know it or not. She doesn't know it yet, but we are going to just jump into something new, because I know sometimes she struggles with, like we all do. We all struggle with being consistent on things that we know that we need to do. So having an accountability partner will allow you to be, y'all can hold each other accountable, not someone to only just hold you accountable, but y'all can literally hold each other accountable. Y'all can join the challenge together and stick to it together. Somebody who you are close with, someone you can be completely honest with. Listen, we're going to learn how to be consistent, and we don't have to do it alone. We can do it with our loved ones, with people that we really care about, with those who really care about us, who know that we need to make certain changes in our lives and our daily activities and the things that we do on a regular basis. By all means, we gonna get it done. So let me go ahead and keep on moving. So forgive yourself for not being as consistent, for not being more consistent, and pace yourself to avoid burnout. So those are just a few tools that you can utilize on your journey to to learning how to be more consistent. We have to learn how to be more forgiving of ourselves anyway, period, point blank. We are not as forgiving of ourselves as we probably should be on the regular basis. So what, you are not as consistent as you should be on a regular basis. No one is. It's okay. Jump back up on that puppy and start riding it again. Just learn how to be more consistent every single day. All you have to do is keep trying. Nobody is perfect. We sit up here and look at our neighbor and look at the person across the street and all that kind of stuff, and look at each other on social media, and we think that everybody else is so perfect and that we are not. Knock, knock, not true. None of us are consistent. Some of us are more consistent than others, and we should all learn how to be more consistent with our goals and the things that we know we need to do on the regular basis. So learn how to be forgiving of yourself. It's okay. Tell yourself that it is okay, that even if you dropped the ball last time, you're going to do better next time, and just continue to keep trying more and more and more, over and over and over again, until you get better and better at it, and you begin to see these results manifest in your life, because you are learning how to be more consistent in your spiritual growth and your mental growth, and redirecting your thoughts and making them more positive, and your emotional health and your financial health. Save $1 a day. You don't have to save $100 a month or anything like that. You can start off with something small. It is just teaching you the power of learning how to be consistent, even if you start off with baby steps. So yeah, find yourself an accountability partner. You all can hold each other accountable. So I did remember, consistency takes practice and effort, and success takes time. So just give yourself some time. It takes practice and it takes effort. It's not going to happen if you don't make it happen. So you have to put the pedal to the metal and do it. So I wrote down a couple quotes, of course. If I had to choose my second favorite motivational speaker, it would be a man named Jim Rohn. So Jim Rohn was very influential all across the world and helped aid in the great success of many great entrepreneurs and people all over the world. So he is no longer here with us, but Jim Rohn and his contributions to society as we know it today will go down in history forever. So shout out to you, Mr. Jim Rohn. May your soul rest in peace for eternity. And this is what Mr. Jim Rohn said: we must all suffer one of two things, the pain of consistency or the pain of regret. So, I'm telling y'all, you got to choose your battle. Just because you choose not to be consistent, that don't mean life is going to be peaches and cream for you because you want to sit around and not do nothing. You're going to have to get up and do something. I tell people all the time, the person that want to sit around and eat Snickers and fried chicken and watch TV all day and don't feel like going to the gym, you don't want to be consistent when going to the gym. I don't feel like getting up. I don't feel like leaving leaving my house. I don't feel like going nowhere. I don't feel like moving. Eventually, the time will come where you're going to have to move. When they reel in that stretcher, the ambulance is coming to pick you up to transfer you from that spot that you ain't want to move out of to the hospital, and you would rather be home than at the hospital. But you have not learned how to be consistent with doing things that you know that you need to do. I'm telling you, either way, you're going to have to get up. Like, you had to get up and move one way or other. In what manner and what fashion you gonna have to get up and move in, that is completely up to you. Like, I would rather just voluntarily, just made me think about Medea, voluntary or involuntary manslaughter when she pulled that gun out. Medea's a trip. I love me some Medea. But listen, you gonna have to get up either way. Like, and just like Mr. Ron said in this quote, you're going to have to suffer one or two things. Yes, consistency comes with pain, but pain does not last forever, and pain leads to greatness. Effort leads to greatness. Hard work leads to greatness, and greatness lasts forever. You don't want to live a life of regret. You don't want to make an example out of yourself. I said that for many, many years. Like, the last thing you want to do is to be laying up in a casket, or when they start chit-chattering about how you took your last breath or you left this earth, and they be like, well, if they hadn't been doing this, or if they hadn't been doing that, or I wish they, cared more about themselves or their situation or whatever. You don't want to live with regret, and you don't want to make an example out of yourself. That is the last thing that you want to do. Like, you want to leave a mark on this earth that is going to make a positive impact on other people for many years to come, even if it's not on a great level, even if it's just within your own family. When they talk about your legacy and your bloodline, what are they going to be able to say about you? I have always thought about those type of things, because a lot of us ain't gonna leave two good things to say. Like, I heard one preacher saying how they gonna have to, like, scrape up good things to say about you, and sometimes they gonna have to be up there lying. They gonna have to, and you did this and graduated from such and such and spent time doing this and all this and that, when you know what you spent most of your time doing, and everybody else know too, that preacher man sitting up there hyping you up over your dead body because he don't want to make you look bad or your family look bad after putting together this beautiful service for you. I don't want to live with regret, and I don't want to leave this earth with regret. And neither should you. Once you are not here anymore, once you take your last breath, it's all said and done. But who wants to leave here or even be on their dying bed and say, I wish I would have taken time out to do this, or I wish I would have done that? Or I know so many people who talked a whole lot about getting their health in order, and ultimately they just waited too long. It took them, to their very last breath, because they didn't want to learn how to be consistent on prioritizing their health. And that is just the reality of how this thing goes. I know I am probably getting pretty graphic and with the power of consistency, but it's deep. That is just really how far it goes. Consistency literally is a matter between life and death. We think that, I'll do it tomorrow, or procrastination, or, I'll do it right now, when we not doing the things that we know that we need to be consistent in doing. And every moment that you put these things off, and sometimes we never get around to doing them at all, it has a major impact on what your everyday life is going to look like, because we are not taking time out to learn how to incorporate consistency in our life more on the regular basis. So I do have one more quote. I wrote down a quote from Mr. Denzel Washington. Everybody know him as Fine Denzel. So shout out to Mr. Denzel Washington. He is a very, very successful Grammy Award winning actor. Probably amongst a whole list of other things, but he have made a great success out of himself over the years, playing in many, many different films from all different spectrums. He is a fantastic actor. So big shout outs to you, Mr. Denzel Washington. And this comes from a quote of the very successful and well-known Mr. Denzel Washington. He said, "Nothing can be achieved without discipline or consistency." So you can't, I mean, a lot of us lack discipline as well. I remember doing a study on discipline. You can't achieve very much without learning how to incorporate discipline and learning how to incorporate consistency in your everyday life. So, I mean, this message just came upon me because my life tends to get more busier at times than others, and I want my life to be where the things that are most important to me I can stay consistent with. You know, I don't want to just have to do things like go to work every day and all of that kind of stuff and punch somebody's clock. I want to do the things that are important to me and be very consistent with doing those things. So when learning how to be more consistent, this is something that I didn't put in my notes. You had to think about it. Do I really want to do this? Because depending on how much you want to do it is going to determine how consistent you are going to be with doing that thing, if it is really something that you want to do. A lot of times we don't want to prioritize our health. We want to be healthy and fit and in shape without the hassle of getting up and going to the gym, but it just don't work like that. But how bad do you want to be healthy? Because if you want it that bad, then you know that you're going to have to do the work. That is just a part of it all. So yeah, consistency is very important in our everyday life. I do have a few affirmations I'm going to drop on you guys. You know, I always encourage you guys to keep these affirmations. Say this to yourself all day long. Share it with your neighbor. Share it with your friend. Always speak positivity over yourself. It is very important that you see you as a person with great value. It doesn't matter how other people view you. Put yourself up on that pedestal and let yourself know how much you are worth and how much you mean to this world. It wouldn't be the same without you. So my first affirmation is, I am getting closer to making my dreams a reality. And that is what you want for yourself. I am. Even by simply looking at a message like this, it brings you closer to you, to what you want to do, to making an impact in this world, to taking steps to better yourself. And it brings you closer to making your dreams a reality. So speak that over yourself all day, every day. You know, I like to say all day today, because I want you to constantly say these things to yourself as long as the day is long. Even if you forget to do it tomorrow, I want you to by all means do it for the remainder of the day. But I want us all to get in the habit of speaking great things over ourselves on the regular basis. So that is my first affirmation, is I am getting closer to making my dreams a reality. Say that. Say it right now. I am getting closer to making my dreams a reality. And my second affirmation is, my greatness is on the way. And it is. because the better you get, the better your life gets. So the more that you do things like work on your own consistency and better yourself, your greatness is literally making its way to you because you are getting better. You attract in life what you are. If you are a more consistent person, that's the more life is going to be consistent with aiding you, with helping you, with keeping you up on your feet, because you are showing the world that you know how to be consistent. God will send you the help that you need. The universe will aid you. Things will begin to work out for you in your favor. Trust me, I know, from the smallest thing down to the biggest thing, like traffic, and your mornings will start off right, and you'll be able to find the match to your missing shoe. I'm telling you, things will begin to flow naturally into place because you have begun to implement positive things like learning how to be consistent on the regular basis into your life. On the regular basis, it will help you tremendously, and that is what all of the life lessons I come to you guys with. I'm telling you, the better you get, the better your life will get. The more you work on yourself, don't worry about changing nobody else. Don't worry about your family members and your neighbors, or even your spouse, or even your kids. Sometimes they think they grown. Sometimes you got to let them grown kids go out there and be grown, because you still have work to do. You still have a destiny to fulfill. You still have contributions to this world. God still has work for you to do. Self-growth, personal development, it is personal. It is between you and you, and your relationship with God and your destiny and where you belong at your place on this earth. And on top of that, if you don't take care of yourself and do the things that you know you have to do for you, how can you possibly do anything for anyone else? So start with yourself, so you are in a position to help other people. You're in a position to give and do all the things that you desire to do for others, because you are constantly making yourself a better person on the regular basis. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining my live. I don't know who is joined and who has not joined, but God bless you. I love you all. Go out here and enjoy this beautiful day, your work day. Get in and out so you can soak up some of this sunshine. Do what pleases your heart. Take care of yourself. In the meantime, don't forget, go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. That is True Value, Knowing Your Worth, on YouTube. Also, I have 4 books that are published and currently on sale on Amazon. My first book is True Value, Knowing Your Worth. My second book is Walking Treasure, Discover Your Hidden Treasures. My third book is Feed Your Soul, Your Personal Guide to Health and Wellness. And my fourth but not last book is Religiously, a closer look at spirituality and religion. Go to Amazon, check out those quick, powerful, motivational reads. Keep them in your book collection. Buy them as a gift. Share it with a friend. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to True Value, Knowing Your Worth on YouTube. Tell somebody to tell somebody to tell somebody. I love you all. God bless you, Lord willing. I will be right back on Friday with another powerful motivational message of the day. In the meantime, you guys continue to stay blessed.